Crafty Gemini. I post weekly how-to video tutorials right here on my YouTube channel, and in this video I'm bringing you a review of the Janome 1100D Professional Serger. So here is the Janome 1100D Professional Serger. Let me briefly go over what the machine does. I'm going to show you how it stitches. So the machine comes with the machine, the cord, obviously with the foot pedal. It also comes with the scrap basket, which if you have the knife engaged here, as it trims away your fabric, it's all going to catch right here. And that way you can keep it contained and throw it out. It comes with a little accessory bin, lint brush, a needle threader, all these spool caps, needles, little tweezers, oil, basically everything you need to get started with this serger. And aside from this and the machine, all you would need to provide is your thread, and then you'd be ready to start using it. There's also a user manual, and this machine also comes with a DVD that's very helpful. It shows you very clear images of how to thread the machine. The close-ups are like really in the machine, so if you really are having a hard time threading your serger, this will come in very handy if you get this 1100D. Now, aside from the manual, obviously this is going to have all the information that you need and what you want to know about how to use your machine correctly. But just to go over some of these things, this machine can do 2, 3, and 4 thread serger stitches or overlock stitches, right? You can do rolled hems, you can do all kinds of stuff. Basically, everything you'd want to do with a serger, this machine can do. Now here, this is one thing that this machine has that a lot of other sergers don't have, is that it has a menu of 10 already pre-selected types of stitches. So pretty much, for the most part, what you'd want to do or what type of stitches you'd want to use for your projects are already included here for you. So instead of going to your manual and figuring out what all the tension settings need to be and what needles do you need if you need both or not and things like that, it's actually on the display right here for you. So by turning this knob, you'll see the number. This number corresponds to the number on this list. So you go down here and figure out which one of these stitches you want to make, and then just turn the knob until it appears here. And once you've done that, the machine will display to you all the different settings and where it recommends them to be to achieve that specific stitch that you selected. So the most basic one, we're going to go to number 1, which is a safety 4 thread. I have 4 threads in here, all loaded up through the needles and everything. I'm going to show you how it stitches out. And so for number 1, I go through here. DF is this one, differential feed. It's telling me to have it at 1.0. Now the stitch length, it says to be at a 2.5, right there between 2 and 3. Left and right needles, it has a black dot for each. That means both of them need to be threaded, and I have that already. Then this is the cut width, how far the machine is going to cut from the stitch, and it says to set it at N. And that setting is over here on the side. I have that on N. And then the blade, we want it to be up so it can cut my fabric as I'm stitching. This is a 2-thread converter, and that says for that to be up, and that is already up. And this is the stitch finger in here, and that you want it to be up as well. And down here is your cut width window. It told us up here to leave it on N, so that's where it's at. And so now let me show you what this is going to do. I have 4 different color threads up here on my machine. You can see white, purple, red, black. When you're using this on a specific project, you probably won't do this by having multicolored threads up here. You generally want to have them all the same color that matches your fabric. But I do it like this sometimes just to test it out, and that way I'll be able to see when I look at my finished stitch, I can see which one is loose, which one looks like it's not as tight as it should be, and come back here and adjust the settings accordingly. I haven't had that problem yet, luckily, because this machine does have the information right on the diagram or right on the display here for you, and so you pretty much can't go wrong. The only times that I think you need to adjust these a little bit is if you were using some type of different decorative thread that wasn't your regular run-of-the-mill serger thread, okay? But for the most part, I've tried all of these out, and I just set it and it stitches just fine. So here we have our light on the right hand side, and then our blade is right here. I'm just going to run this through and press the pedal. The machine has a little blade back here that I can just swipe my threads across to cut it if I need to. And then our stitch is right here. So there's 4 stitches. You have 2 lines of straight stitches, one that goes all the way around and the other one that shows up the black is all the way on this side, okay? And you don't want to have loops that are popping up too much on the edges here. You want it to be nice and flush right where the blade or the knife was cutting the fabric. You want those stitches to jump over across that edge real nice and close. Now we all know what sergers can do, basic, the basic 3 or 4 thread overlock stitch that we normally do. But one thing that I noticed with this machine that's different from a few other machines that I have, and I have 2 other sergers, is that I didn't have to touch these tension settings. On this, you still do have the option of adjusting it, but I have found that I have not needed to. And I'll show you that. By what I mean is I'm still doing the basic 3 or 4 thread overlock stitch on the machine. I haven't adjusted any of the settings aside from what it tells me to do here on the display, and I'm able to do the same exact stitch with the same settings on a variety of different fabrics. So normally if you're going from a lighter weight fabric to a bulkier fabric, you usually will have to adjust them a little bit. But for some reason, this machine does all the magic for me and I don't have to adjust that. So here I have 2 layers of a cotton flannel. And I just want to show you that I don't have to adjust settings for any of these fabric changes that I'm making. So that's a perfect 4 thread on this, nice and close to the cut edge. Perfect. Now here I have some medium weight, I would say, Ponte knit. It's like a real stable knit. Okay, and this is stretch fabric. Again, I'm not adjusting any settings. Perfect. Again, my fabric isn't buckling right at the seam. It's not stretching it out. This is obviously not on grain. It's just a scrap piece of fabric. But you can see that the seam here is pretty much perfect. Now we'll try it on some really lightweight. I mean, this stuff, you can see the light right through it. It's pretty sheer, okay? Sheer knit. I'm not touching any settings. Again, a perfect seam, nice close to the edge, nothing is looping. And these are 3 completely different weight fabrics. So now we'll keep going. This is your basic quilting cotton, 100% quilting cotton. Perfect. No buckling of the seam. I mean, it looks perfect. And now we'll try it with some heavy weight fabric here. This is fleece and 2 layers of it. And again, the seam is perfect and I haven't had to adjust anything. So this machine is doing all the work for me. I can pretty much just turn it on, jump right in here with any project, no matter the weight of the fabric. And if I'm doing this basic 4 thread stitch, I can just leave it as is and go right to stitching. And that's it for this video review of the Janome 1100D Professional Serger. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, hit it with the thumbs up below. Share it across the different social media sites. Remember, I've included links in the description box below this video here on YouTube where you can click and get more information and find out places where you can purchase this same serger that I've reviewed for you in this video. Otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you don't have a serger, definitely start saving your pennies. It's worth the investment if you are going to be getting more into garment sewing or you want to do some fun and different type projects as well. A big thanks to Janome for letting me borrow this machine and try it out. I think this one I will be buying because I really like the speed and a lot of the different features that it has. It's basically a step up from just your basic home serger. And if you did enjoy the video, make sure you click the subscribe button right there so you won't miss out on any of my future videos and product reviews and some fun giveaways that I have planned. I will be working on some new projects and video tutorials featuring this 1100D serger, so I hope you'll stick around to check those out. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.